Hello everybody, welcome back to the Traxion YouTube channel and welcome to week 8 of our fixed Ferrari Challenge track guide series here on iRacing. Now week 8 brings us to Snetterton, but Snetterton 200, a layout which I have never raced, but having done quite a few laps practicing for this track guide, it's got all the recipes for a fun week. Now if you've followed my track guides before, you'll know that they are not a place for hot laps. It's a slow, methodical approach to learn the circuit where we talk about my braking markers, my reference points and the little quirks that each circuit has. As usual, I'll show you the flying lap in full, then we'll jump in the car, show you those braking markers and reference points in action. Then at the end, we'll talk about pit entry, pit exit, and where I think you can get an overtake done here this week at Snetterton. So enough talking, let's get on track. Okay, here we are then on the main straight here at Snetterton. Now, as usual, we've set the sim time to match the official series. So it's the 6th of November 2021 and the time is 12 noon. We're also using the iRacing Sprint setup, which is what is used in the official series. Track temperature right now is 27 degrees, exactly the same as it was in the flying lap. And brake bias this week, we've gone for 53.1. There's a couple of places here where we are braking quite heavily and changing direction. So any lower than that just makes things a little bit sketchy. So 53.1 is my tip for brake bias this week. So Snetterton 200, I've never ever raced here before, but it's got the potential to be quite good fun after the laps that I've done. So, turn 1, it's a double right-hander. And it's quite tricky. You've got to nail the second apex. If you miss the first one, doesn't really matter, but it's the second apex that we need to hook up. So I brake in between the 2 and the 1 for this one in a straight line. Just take a little bit of speed off the car down into 4th gear. Ideally you want to just kiss this apex, just nice and gentle on the throttle, just wait and then get on the gas now for the second one and cut that curb on the right hand side there. Don't cut it too much at the beginning because there is a lip, so you want to cut it just a little bit after the start of the curb. Now, breaking down for turns 2 and 3. Now, very, very important set of turns, this one. Really important to apex turn 2 really late because we need the car over to the right-hand side to open up turn number 3. So I brake in between the 2 and the 1 board and we're going all the way down into 1st gear. So we're braking in a straight line. We're going to apex this one quite late. Get the right hand side of the car on the curbs on the right if you can, because we want to open up this left. And then as soon as we do that, we get back on the gas, nice and gentle around here. Don't take too much curb on the inside and be careful of the grass just at the end of the curb there. You'll either lose control of your car or lose all momentum. And this is leading on to probably the biggest overtaking place on the circuit. So up to turns 4 and 5. Always been really sketchy here. This is where the higher brake balance comes into play because we are braking quite hard and we're turning left and then we're going to be turning right. It's got everything here, so it's really important to be nice and smooth with your braking. So here we're braking just before the 1 on the right hand side, and we're going to be turning in here quite early. So we're on the brakes, turning quite early, just gently, gradually apply the brake. Then we want the car right over to the left hand side, and we want to be using this little piece of mesh on the left hand side if we can. If you don't get it that far over, it's fine. Round about here, it's perfect. So down to first gear, turning quite late here. Then as soon as we get on the apex, we want to be accelerating. You can use this on the exit, but just get it back on before the dirt. Up to the bomb hole. Now, I've watched motorcycle racing on television here at Snetterton, and this corner looks terrifying on a motorcycle. Now, the apex of the turn there is blind. We can't see it. So we're turning in just before or just at this dirt on the road there, just in front of, just on top of my instrument cluster. So we're turning in there, and we want to be putting the right hand side wheels on the curb. But it's really important now, we're in third gear at this point, it's really important now that we get on the gas, because we want to use the wheel spin or the loss of traction at the rear just to help the car rotate round to the right hand side. The car will run wide, keep turning right, use a bit of this curb on the exit, and then we're up to fourth gear, accelerate hard until we get to about this point, and then we're going to let the car drift out wide, down to third gear, and then we want the car back over to the right. But we want to make the braking zone here as straight as we possibly can. So we are turning this car back now quite late, because we want to be braking in a straight line here. Want the car over as far as we can to the right hand side, down to first gear. Again, turning in really late. Get on the gas at the apex, because this leads onto the main start finish straight. It might open up an overtaking opportunity into turn number 1. So get on the gas, let the car run out wide. Not too much though. You can use a bit of this mesh, but again, get it back on before the grass. And that's a lap. It's only a really short lap here at Snetterton. So we'll slowly pick up the pace. So for turn 1, it's fourth gear. We're braking just before the 1 board, or in between the 2 and the 1, sorry. Nice and gently, and then accelerate, pick up the second apex. And then brake in between the 2 and the 1. In a straight line, apex this one really late, because we want to open up this left-hander here. But nice and progressive through here with the throttle. Don't go on that grass on the right-hand side, because you will lose all momentum there. And then a run up to turn number 4. So just before the 1, we're going to be on the brakes quite hard, but turning in quite early. But nice and smooth with your braking here. Get the car right off to the left, down to first gear. As soon as you're on the apex, get on the accelerator. Now the apex of the bomb hole is blind. We're turning in now. Then get on the gas, keep on the gas. Accelerate all the way around. And then lift here now, because we want the car to go out wide, then come back really late, because we want this braking zone to be as straight as we can. Down to first gear. Use a bit of this mesh on the exit. Again, we'll try another couple of laps. So turn 1, just before, or in between the 2 and the 1. We're going to be on the brakes. Down to fourth gear, nice and smoothly. Just wait, be patient, then get on the gas. Don't cut that curb too early. We're in between the 2 and the 1 again. Hard on the brakes. Apex this one really late. Nice and smooth with the throttle. Try and stay off the grass on the right. The run up to turn number 4. If you've messed up the exit of turn number 3, then you leave yourself wide open here to an overtake. So just before the 1, we're going to be on the brakes. Right over to the left hand side, down to first gear, get on the gas at the apex. Use this on the exit. Just before the dirt, we're going to be turning, lifting, then get back on the gas. Accelerate round, use a bit of that curb on the exit. Now power all the way around here till about now. Then just coast round, trail brake a little bit, just get the car back, play with the throttle. Brake in a straight line, down to first gear. Get on the gas at the apex. There we go, that's a steady lap around Snetterton. This has got all the ingredients of a good fun racetrack. Now I've never raced the GT3s around here on this layout, but Snetterton 300 is one of my favourite tracks. There's some really cool corners on that circuit that unfortunately we're missing out on with this layout. But this is just a shorter version, so there's not much overtaking going on from turn 4 all the way to turn number 8. But the first half of the circuit, it's got overtakes written all over it. Now let's talk about pit entry, pit exit, and where I think we can get some overtakes done. Now, pit entry here at Snetterton can be a little bit sketchy, but it's not too bad as long as you get the little left-right sorted out as you go in the pits. So I'll show you at slow time first of all. So we're going to be braking and round about just before this, where the white line bends round to the right. As you can see there, the pit lane goes in, then it goes left, then it goes back right. So we'll want to be entering the pits straight, heading down there, heading for that very small gap. And at this point, we'll want to be getting on the brakes hard and getting the pit limiter on. And down into first gear. So then it's a little left, and there's the yellow cone. So as long as you get that little left-right sorted, it's not too bad. Right, I'll show you that on a flying lap. Okay, so we'll simulate a pit entry now. So we're just approaching the final turn as normal. Try and open it up as much as we can, and then get back on the gas. And then just where the white line goes to the right, we're going to be on the brakes hard. And then into the pits. Quite easy, it's just that little left-right. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is the pit lane is full of these bumps where the garages are, so you've got to be very careful. You can see them there, the car kind of jumps up. So I would wait until the last moment before you actually pull into your garage. Pit exit here at Snetterton, very simple actually. There's the green cone. You just need to keep an eye on your relative as always, because when you exit where the blue cones are, you want to be moving over here where the broken line is, but that's right on the racing line on the approach to turn number 1. So just keep an eye on your relative. If there's somebody coming up behind you, just yield, let them get on their way, and then try and squeeze in behind them somewhere. Right, now let's have a look at where we can get an overtake done here at Snetterton and where you can make it stick. So, overtaken here at Snetterton. Now, the first part of the lap, there's a few places where you can overtake. Second part, not so much. It's pretty much a procession. So, turn number 1, obviously, is a place where you can maybe get an overtake done. Depends how well you get out of the final turn. So you can always go up the inside into turn number 1. If you don't get it done on the inside, then there's very little chance you're going to get it done on the exit. So, if you're not going to get it done up the inside, make them think that you are going to, and focus on your exit out of turn number 1. And ideally, you want to position your car over here. If their entry and exit's been compromised, then you should be able to slip up the inside into turn number 2. If you don't, think about your exit out of turn number 3, and we're going to go over the overtake into turn number 4. So, somebody's defending on your right hand side here now, so we're going to brake a little bit later, and we're going to cut this back really late and have the car here. And as you can see, that then opens up this left-hander beautifully. The person that was defending won't be able to do this, so his exit is going to be compromised. We're going to look at getting a really good exit out of here using the slipstream that we're going to gain from being behind the car. An overtake going into turn number 4. Hopefully they'll back out if you've got the inside line. If you don't have the inside line, well, that's fine. We're going to go around the outside at turn number 4. Give them loads of room. And we're going to get the move done. Turn number 5. And then we've got the inside line for the bomb hole. And at this point, there's no way back. Because you get the inside line here. We've got the inside line here for the final, second to last turn. And of course, nobody's going to go around the outside there. But it's really important, trying to make a move into turn 1, that you nail your exit coming out of the final turn. So again, you can position your car going around this right-hander as if you're going to go for an overtake here. But you're obviously not. You're going to focus on your exit and try and get the move done into turn number 1 when you've got all that lovely slipstream. So there we go. That's week 8 done here at Snetterton. Please let me know down below in the comments how you get on. What were your times before the guide? What were your times after? Did I help? Did I cover everything that you wanted to be covered in a track guide? Let me know down below in the comments. Next week, week 9, we go to Laguna Seca. So if you want to master the corkscrew, you better tune in next week. As always, thanks for watching. Good luck this week. Keep it pinned.